Welcome to another inspiring and motivating video from Morrongo TV. There has never been a more volatile state in the world than there is today. We are facing problems and societal issues to question the lack of fundamental human decency in our society. More and more people suffer from so much injustice in the world today, and our video we will be telling you a story on how one woman shared her story and ended up inspiring and impacting the whole world to stand up and make their voices heard. Chanel Miller's book, Know My Name, tells her story of how she persevered and how her experience brought light and awareness to those who have heard her case and read her book. Her book details the pain, suffering of her sexual assault case against Brock Turner, a student athlete from Stanford University that assaulted her at a college frat party, which led to a trial and the aftermath of those said events. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to and click on that notification bell to receive an alert when we post a new video. Let's begin with our story about Chanel Miller and how she empowered others through her survival. Early life. Before we can talk about that night that changed Chanel Miller's life forever, let us take a brief look at Chanel's life growing up. Chanel Miller was born on June 12, 1992, to Christian parents, Chris and May Miller, in Palo Alto, California. With a Christian upbringing, Miller's family emphasized on love, unity, and perseverance, three things that are essential when detailing further on what Chanel had to experience. Her mother, May Miller, emigrated from China to become a writer. She ended up becoming a documentary filmmaker as she was captivated by the many stories to tell through her medium. This upbringing had a big influence on Chanel as it helped her develop a natural inclination for storytelling. Her father, Chris Miller, is a therapist who has now retired and focuses solely on his family. Chanel also has a younger sister whose name is unknown to the public, as per the wishes of the family. Chanel was inspired by her mother's early endeavors as a writer and contemplated on pursuing a similar career path. Chanel attended Gunn High School for her secondary education, where she was an active volleyball player and was considered one of the best players on the team. Chanel showed promise as a student athlete and could have pursued a career as a professional, but like many people at that age, she was still finding out what she really wanted to do with her life. After her graduation from Gunn High School in 2012 and selecting between several options on where to take up her college education, she chose to attend the University of California, Santa Barbara's College of Creative Studies. Chanel graduated with a bachelor's degree in literature, with high hopes of telling stories to inspire the world. Little did she know that her life will be a story to tell, with hurtful events that will make her stronger and change the world around. Sexual assault. Frat parties and campus life is one of those periods when a lot of the changes and events happened on many people. On January 17, 2015, Chanel and her sister went to such a party at the Kappa Alpha fraternity at Stanford University. This is where Chanel first encountered Brock Turner, a 19-year-old on a swimming scholarship at Stanford. During the party, Chanel drank and got heavily intoxicated. It was that night would be the start of a hellish roller coaster ride for Chanel and her family, and their lives were changed forever. That evening at around 1 a.m., two Swedish graduate students, Carl Frederick Arnott and Peter Johnson, spotted Brock Turner on top of Chanel Miller, who was unconscious behind a dumpster. They began to question what was going on when Brock Turner unexpectedly ran away. The two Swedish students chased him and pinned him down until authorities arrived. Chanel Miller was then taken to a hospital where she regained her consciousness at around 4:15 a.m. The nurse stated that Miller had experienced significant and penetrating trauma. Miller could not recall anything during the incident, but disgusted and outraged by what transpired, decided to take legal action. Brock Turner was arrested and indicted on 5 felony sexual assault charges, for which he pleaded not guilty. Sexual assault charges. Chanel Miller chose to remain anonymous and was referred to as Emily Doe. This was due to the high press attention and stigma attached to sexual assault cases. Stanford banned Turner from campus, and the USA swimming team banned him as well from competitive swimming in the United States on January 20th. Following an investigation, Turner was charged with 2 counts of rape and rape of an intoxicated person, unconscious person, and 1 count of assault with intent to rape. Further DNA testing showed that there was no evidence of genital-to-genital contact, which resulted in the 2 charges of rape being dropped at a preliminary hearing in October 2015. A trial for took place in 2016 when Chanel Miller and her family hoped to see justice done. However, they were in for a rude awakening at what happened next. Trial and sentence. The trial of People vs. Turner began on March 14, 2016 at the Santa Clara County Superior Court. 6 days later, Turner was found guilty of 3 felonies: assault with intent to rape an intoxicated woman, sexually penetrating an intoxicated person with a foreign object, and sexually penetrating an unconscious person with a foreign object. At the end of trial, Chanel gave her statement and requested for the opportunity to speak directly to Brock Turner. She gave an well-thought-out statement and carefully chosen words. Here are some of her words.
"You don't know me, but you've been inside me, and that's why we're here today. You cannot give me back my sleepless nights, the way I have broken down sobbing uncontrollably if I am watching a movie and a woman is harmed. To say it lightly, this experience has expanded my empathy for other victims. To girls everywhere, I am with you. On nights when you feel alone, I am with you. When people doubt you or dismiss you, I am with you. I fought every day for you. So never stop fighting. I believe you."
What Chanel said in the courtroom that day would only be a fraction of an even bigger statement that was eventually released, has now become famous for the depth in which it went to reveal the profound damage caused by the perpetrator and the dismissal attitude of the defense and the lawyers trying the case. Take a look at the link in the comments where you can find the full transcript. However, if you are expecting that her statement changed the mind of the judge in favor of Chanel, you are in for a surprise. Here is what happened next. Prosecutors recommended a 6 to 14 year sentence for Brock Turner. However, Turner's family pleaded for a lighter sentence, arguing that such a sentence will ruin Turner's life, an otherwise exemplary student. In what would end up being a shocking turn of events, Judge Aaron Persky sentenced Turner to a mere 6 months in the Santa Clara County Jail. 6 months for sexual assault. Let that sink in for a minute. The 6 months sentence will also be followed by 3 years of probation, and Turner will be required to register as a sex offender. To add further insult to the injury, pun intended, Turner only served 3 months and then he was released. After only 3 months and the unbearable stress and anxiety the Miller family had to deal with, Brock Turner was just as good as free. The US justice system failed to deliver on the very morals and principles it was supposed to stand for. Controversy. Public outcry is an understatement to describe the aftermath of the trial. Turner got an obscenely light sentence and highlighted how sexual assault cases in the US are not taken seriously. Prosecutors and victims' rights advocates criticized Judge Persky's sentencing as lenient and biased. Michelle Dauber, professor at Stanford Law School and longtime advocate on campus sexual assault, led the way for the committee to recall Judge Persky. After over 1 million signatures in an online petition, they demanded Persky's recall of resignation. After taking it to a vote, Persky was recalled 2 years later in 2018. Persky was the first judge to be recalled by California voters in 86 years, and also became the first United States judge to be recalled since 1977. Impact statement. The saddest part of this story is that Chanel Miller is one of many victims across the country who suffered from injustice. Not willing to conceal or roll over, she chose to take a stance not just for herself, but for everyone who has suffered like she has suffered. Chanel Miller decided to make an impact statement in an effort to get the world to hear and know about the injustice done to her by Turner and the justice system. Under her alias Emily Doe, a 7,138-word victim statement was published online by Palo Alto Online and BuzzFeed on June 3, 2016, with Santa Clara County formally releasing the statement. It was her intent to release a powerful story, but she could not have expected how overwhelming the support and impact was from people all around the world. The statement went viral on social media, and just after 4 days of being posted, it was viewed over 11 million times. It was seen as instrumental about bringing the conversation of sexual assault to the public eye. Miller's legal case sparked a nationwide discussion regarding rape on college campuses and how victims were not being heard. It eventually became a springboard for the Me Too movement, which saw thousands of sexual assault victims all over the world sharing their stories. Finally, Miller's voice was being heard to an exponential degree, and her case was a symbol of hope for all those seeking justice from wrongdoing. On November 1st, 2016, she was named by Glamour as Woman of the Year for her contributions to bringing sexual assault awareness to the country. She received her award anonymously. She revealed her identity in September 2019 and announced that she would be releasing a memoir entitled Know My Name, which discusses in full detail her experience on the assault, the trial, and the aftermath. No longer in anonymity, Chanel Miller was facing the world for the very first time, and she shared her story and educated millions all over the world on sexual assault and its effects on victims. The book was a huge success and revealed the tale of how an inspiring writer would not let adversity define her life, and she showed the world the power of a story. In November of that year, she was honored once again by Glamour as Woman of the Year, where she accepted in person. She wrote a poem dedicated for the well-being of sexual assault survivors. In Time's 2019's 100 Next list, she was included as an influential person. After everything she went through, she now has a platform and voice to speak out on her experiences and how traumatizing it can be for victims. Today, she is one of the most influential people in the world, empowering others in her story of perseverance and survival. May the world be more aware and informed on how sexual assault happens, and may we do our part in preventing it from happening and making sure justice prevails for the victims. We hope the story of Chanel Miller has been inspiring and motivational, and that you share it with others that might come to know it as well. Please leave us a comment below letting us know what you think and how you feel, and don't forget to like, subscribe and ring on that notification bell so you get notified once we add a new video. Stay right on our channel for the next video we'll be playing shortly. Morrongo TV. Motivation, inspiration, fun.